Alright guys, we're going to finish up the part 3 of this all-in-one Tengu series. This will be the last part on this, and then I think the next one will do like a more focused fit, which will be the fit I would probably use, so it's obviously going to be like polarized, spoiler alert. But let's just get a quick refresher about how this fit was done. We'll start with the heavy missile launchers. We're going to cover both fits in this video. But we'll just have a super quick look right now. We may as well just close this. So we've got Sisters probe launcher, with heavy missile launcher 2s with 2 medium shield boosters, afterburner, cap battery, 2 multi-specs for the tank, and 4 ballistic control systems for the damage. A couple of EM resistance mods because again it's all in one, so we can take this into any space. So we're pretty much covered for resistance throughout the board. Pretty level, but I think the EM's a little bit lower than the rest. The Warhead Rigor for the application of the missiles. And then we've got Amp node, accelerated ejection bay, chassis optimization, and the Graviton reactor. I'll not go into depth about what these do. If you want a more in-depth look at, just check a couple episodes back. And yeah, we've got our CPU implant just to make it all fit because it is pretty tight, right? So, like I said when I made the original video, it's going to be more of a new bro or sort of lazier pilot approach to using this in missions and stuff. Alright, jumping into some footage of the actual mission run, guys. I just want to show you at the start here, just like the worst possible case scenario you can get using like a ranged ship. Well, pretty much of any type, not just the Tengu here. So, obviously we're in the heavy missile launcher fit, so we really need to be ranged against all these NPCs, but we've just jumped into like a group of NPCs, which is pretty bad, and we'll actually get webbed as well, so that can make quite a big difference to the incoming damage. We'll actually get double webbed, which pretty much sucks. But it'll just go to show obviously the strength of the Tengu. We're all versus like ideal incoming damage for us, like kinetic and thermal. There is a couple of angels on the field, but really I think they're just the little frigates and things. So we've got no issue pretty much tanking. And during the course of flying the heavy missile Tengu here, I made a point of only trying to use 1 shield booster. So if you're a veteran pilot or whatever, or you've got some like nice implants, you can definitely get away with just using 1. And I've tried loads of these missions over the last few days and it's absolutely fine, right? It's over tanked if anything, like I said in the original video, so more aimed at like newer pilots and things, just to be a little bit safer, because it's really hard as like a pilot with like all level 5 skills and things and this stuff to say whether it'll work for someone that's got like all level 3, so best to be safe, and again just like all in one, right? We will definitely be doing some focus Tengu fits though coming up soon, but you can see the little amount of damage I did to that frig there with the Fury, and when I switch to precision, man, he just gets like 3-4 shotted, so definitely makes a difference. You can get away with the Fury for the most part on the non-named frigates. I know I had to switch to precision here even for these normal ones, like on the Angel side and things, but usually I found the Fury's still pretty good against the standard things, but like your Arch Gisties and all that type of thing, like any named frigates or elite frigates, they've got really high resistance, so you definitely need to switch. But yeah, that was just the third room of Worlds Collide. It's a pretty tough mission, like in general. Lost many a Raven back in the day to this thing, but it's always RNG as to what NPCs you get, and luckily we did get some ones that preferred our tank, which was pretty nice. Alright, next up is everybody's favourite, the Damsel in Distress mission. It's actually really easy compared to what it used to be now. The Damsel actually automatically goes into your cargo hold rather than you having to go and pick it up, which I find interesting. But anyway, this is like the position I'm here right now on screen. This is the ideal position of where this Tengu needs to be in most missions. So kiting around the outskirts, using that range to your advantage. And you can see we're against the Angels there, so we've got Nova loaded, not as much DPS, I think it was like, what, 560 or something if I remember off the top of my head with the non-kinetic stuff, so not like insane amounts of damage, but still really enough to deal with all these battleships. And again, skirting on the outsides, you're going to be reducing a lot of incoming damage. You can see we're barely taking on, and again making a point to use that single shield booster. I think by the end of this I'd full spawned on purpose most of the stuff in, and well, literally just sat still without the afterburner on just to see what we could tank, and yeah, like 1 was pretty much just enough to keep it going. Remember guys, we're not using any fancy implants with this thing, just a fitting one, so like I would recommend using like some Genos or something, or some crystals. I mean, man, this thing would be insane with crystals. And we're going to be taking a look coming up in a couple of vids time some like shield booster stuff as well. I've been really getting in depth with all the like rep numbers and things, so hopefully we'll have something worth your time to look at. But for this one, again, just like easy mode and all this stuff, just skirting around the outside, and that's exactly where we need to be. Alright guys, precision ammo here is about to do its thing on these little spider drones, and if you've came across these missions yourself, you know like what a pain in the arse they are to kill. They will like come at you like 5-6 kilometers a second or whatever and double web you, so it's pretty dangerous in this mission if you're leaving like the full spawn, or pretty much the full spawn on the field there, unless you can tank it pretty quick. But I remember really keeping range for these guys in the Microwarpdrive when I used to use that, and just like one tapping them as they came in, but obviously we can't do that with the Tengu. But they died pretty quick. I was actually impressed how fast they did die, and I wish I'd switched to Fury to kill the last one just to see, like, to compare some of the DPS or application numbers, you know. That would have been an interesting little thing. So we're carrying on killing the pleasure hub anyway, just to get the rest of the spawn to show. It's pretty much GG when you kill this one. And like Zol spawn and everything, so he does quite a bit of damage there. Alright, that's the pleasure hub done and the mission complete. Now this is the point where I decided to test the tank a little bit more, so there's actually quite a lot of battleships on grid here, so we'll switch the afterburner off just so we don't get as much damage mitigation, and we're just align. And I just really wanted to see obviously what we can tank. It doesn't go up a lot, I mean we were pretty safe here, and again we've got like just an ultra tank using those like the 2 shield boosters by itself, so like the tank is absolutely perfect in my opinion, you know, if you need to use it. So we'll slap down the second one there. I think that was the first time I ever used the 2 of them after doing all these missions to test it, and yeah, just absolutely insane amounts of tank, guys. So that's the end of the heavy missile section. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And moving on to the heavy assault missile launcher fit, we'll just quickly again go over this. So obviously heavy assault missile launcher 2s, that's close range high DPS stuff. 2 medium shield boosters are the same. The afterburner's been swapped to a 50mm Microwarpdrive. We've still got the cap battery. We've dumped 1 multi-spec for a guidance computer, so we can keep 2 multi-specs if you want more tank. But really the range and application on this one, if like we use the scripts or whatever, is pretty nice. 4 ballistic controls. The rigs, we had to use an ancillary current router, so we basically dumped an EM shield reinforcer for that, so we're just running the 1. We've still got the Rigor catalyst because it's so good for the missile application, and the rigs are all the same, right, but we've got obviously a lot more ammo to take. We still need to use the 602 to fit it as well, and let's dump it into a mission. Yeah, so I got really lucky getting this mission actually. It's the Dread Pirate Scarlet. So what in this mission, what makes it a little bit more unique is that you're up against just RNG factions, so you could get like laser incoming damage, or in this case the angel stuff here, as well as like all the rest of it. So it's a really good mission. It's basically like an all-in-one mission for an all-in-one fit, right? So yeah, they couldn't have timed this any perfect, and this was the first one we did with a ham fit. So straight away you can see just Microwarpdrive into the center of these guys here. We want to get really close to them and just blap them away. So especially the battleships, the angels, like the really track pretty crap up close, so you can get tons of damage. And again, we're just using the 1 shield booster just to show you guys like what it can tank. I don't think I used 2. I maybe flicked it on here for a second, or sometimes when I use the Microwarpdrive, I'll actually put both of them on just to, because we're going to take like way more damage with the Sig Bloom from the Microwarpdrive. But you can see we're tanking pretty well here. We've got a decent resistance against the explosive armor damage, so it wasn't really an issue. And man, like this is, I love flying. It's really more engaging flying this ham fit versus the more subtle heavy missile launcher version, right, where you can just sit out and just pew pew. Like I love manually flying around here, and yeah, it just feels a lot better to fly in general. Alright, second room was against the Corpum, so we've got lasers incoming. The Scarlet's there as well. I left her alive just because if you shoot her for 1, she just disappears, but I think she does quite a decent amount of damage in that hobby she's flying, right? So I left her alive just for that case. And you can see as we're Microwarpdriving with the big Sig Bloom there, they're able to get some massive hits on us until we get close to these battleships. And looking at it, like right now, we weren't taking any damage from the battleships mainly, it was just the cruisers, right? You can see them at the top of the screen there, just applying. They're all arch ones as well, so that's your faction-y ones, so they do, like, they have a bit more resistance and everything. But yeah, it was pretty much cake once we got into it, like, with position, and again, flying the ship is fun just for that. It helps you with the actual like positional awareness, and that can also translate over to like PvP and things as well. So again, a lot more engaging than the heavy missile fit. Man, we're taking some chunks there, boys. So yeah, it is a lot less tanky really, because we haven't got the advantage of the afterburner to save us, you know, to help us sig tank, but just hanging on the edge there. And yeah, decided to go for the cruisers. We should have done that first really, because the battleships, again, they don't track us really well. So Scarlet's away there now. And just a tidbit, it's not really anything to do with the Tengu, but in this mission, in the next room, if you kill Scarlet, she actually drops a implant, and then you can kill her again in the second room, and well, in the last room. So it's pretty cool. A few extra mil there to get if you're out mission running. And that's exactly what we did here. We had with damage overheated, and we're all using Scourge as well, so we've got like the max amount of damage, and she just gets pretty much wrecked really. This room's a pretty good one. Normally, well, it's obviously the hardest room of the lot. Even the last room's pretty easy. But we've got the core spawn in this one. So that's kinetic and thermal incoming, as well as like some Kildari stuff as well. So like in my opinion, this is worse than the last room, even though there's more stuff in the last one. Because like, especially when the dummies spawn as well, the dummies seem to hit you pretty tough, right? They've all got like rail guns on them or whatever. So there's the implant we've just picked up, a few mil social adaptation. So it is a little learning one. So we're bouncing into the middle of these battleships again, just to reduce the damage and everything. You know, just trying to be smart about how we'll pilot. We don't really need to be fair. I mean, we can tank pretty much fine. You can see I just blipped on the second one, just on the approach there with the high sig bloom. But really, we could pretty much sit at the gate. They're in range here, but, you know, just like having a little bit of fun, my old pilot. So yeah, pretty much tanky boy. So we've tested it against the lasers, and of course this is the ideal incoming damage, kinetic thermal, so we're really in no issue here at all. And in the last room here, we're against the angels and the incoming laser damage from the corpus as well. So pretty not ideal again, but yeah, dead easy guys, dead easy. So yeah, that's pretty much it for these all-in-one fits. Just to give you a little bit of a showcase here, I'll try and not to make it too long. The next video we're going to do will be my final Tengu fit, which I run, well, not the final one, but one I would generally pick up to use. We're going to focus it for like specific missions, so ideally it's going to be in Garista space, right? Probably rocket polarized, pretty much similar to what you're seeing on screen right now, just a polarized version for more DPS, but we'll try and get some blingy implants in. It might not be the next video, but will be one coming up soon, because it's yeah, it's pretty expensive, and I need to get that whiptail sold, which is currently on the forums again. If you're interested in buying that, 250 bill, that would be cool. And yeah, so that's the fits, guys. I'll just throw them on screen there just for one final look, so you can check it out as we just roll out the intro here. So yeah, had fun making these vids, guys. I know you love the Tengus. They seem to do really well on the channel. I've had a ton of really nice comments as well, with some like changes to the fits and everything. Everyone sharing the way they do it, so I really appreciate that. It's always nice to see. Helps other people like watching the vids as well if they're scrolling through the comments. So yeah, it's just a general all-around good help getting some feedback off you guys, even if it's critical or critique, you could say. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys. That's it, and we'll see you in the next one.